know a bunch of the grammar rules. I'm pretty good at grammar stuff. Let me prove you wrong immediately and show you a rule that is on every single ACT that I promise you do not know. I like to call this the name rule. It has to do with on questions like 66, where we see names and figure out whether they do or don't have commas. So the rule has to do with the description before a person's name. So a little rule right here. If I say my friend, let's say my friend Jake versus my best friend Jake. Alright, so our simple rule here has to do with what I call the identifier before the person's name. My friend is not specific to one person. So if it's not specific like my friend, we have to keep the name with no commas. If it is specific to one person, my best friend is specific, so now the name is extra. So here, as I read the sentence, it says, it wasn't until festival organizer. Well, that's not specific to one person, so we have to keep Dottie Thompson's name, so no commas, and respected hula master. Again, there can be more than one respected hula master, so we have to keep Uncle George Ope's name, if that's how you say that. So we need no commas for both of them, so correct answer here is J. Again, a rule you probably didn't know, but once you memorize this, it's super easy to apply in testing. Now that names rule is just one of many grammar rules you need to master to get a perfect 36 on the ACT English test. And what you can see on the screen now is a list of all the different grammar rules that you need to know and grammar topics. All the ones that are in yellow are actually ones that I can teach you entirely for free in the free trial to my Ultimate ACT course. So there's a link below for how to sign up for that. It is entirely free, no credit card needed, so definitely go jump in there. It's a great place to start and learn about really important grammar rules. Now the second thing you need to master to get that perfect 36 in ACT English is pattern spotting. We want to always look at the differences in the answer choices, notice patterns in the answer choices, and use that to our advantage. And I'm going to show you two quick patterns you can use on testing. Now the first pattern I teach you is how to spot subject-verb questions, and a little trick I like to call odd one out that we can use to tell what the answer is even if you cannot find the subject. So here, 55 is a subject-verb question. I spotted this because I see a singular and plural version of the same verb. We have the verb to be here in the past. I have was versus were, singular versus plural. Also, if we see, say, is versus are, or has versus have in the answer choice, or any verb with s and no s, let's say runs versus run, we see a singular versus plural here. So here, what we're looking for is you can plug in he, and that's going to tell if it's singular. They is going to tell us if it's plural. So let's look at our different options here we see for our verbs. So in our current one, it says is. I can say he is, so that is singular. He has been, they were, he was. Well, which one's the odd one out? Our answer here is C. Now, if we read the whole sentence, the subject here is the angular shapes in the painting, how noted, hence the angular shapes were actually derivative. We can use this pattern spotting trick to use and know it's a subject-verb question and use this odd one out trick to basically cheat the test and know every single time whichever one's the odd one out, that is your answer. Next, I'm going to show you how to ace some of the easiest questions in the ACT, which are questions testing you on redundant one out trick to basically cheat the test and know every single time whichever one's odd one out, that is your answer. Next, I'm going to show you how to noted sentence. The subject here is the angular shapes in the painting, how noted, and angular shapes were actually derivative. We can use this pattern spotting trick to use and know it's a subject-verb question and use this odd one out trick to basically cheat the test and know every single time whichever one's the odd one out, that is your answer. Next, I'm going to show you how to ace some of the easiest questions. Well, which one's the odd one out? Our answer here is C. Now, if we read the whole sentence, the subject here is the angular shapes in the painting, how noted, hence the angular shapes were actually derivative. We can use this pattern spotting trick to use and know it's a subject-verb question and use this odd one out trick to basically cheat the test and know every single time whichever one's the odd one out, that is your answer. Next, I'm going to show you how to ace some of the easiest questions in the ACT, which are questions testing you on redundancy and conciseness. On the ACT, if we see a question like this, where we see 4 answer choices, 1 is shorter, 3 are longer, you always want to pick the shortest answer choice because these questions are testing us on redundancy, conciseness. We want shorter, simpler answers. So here's an example. It says, no new snow fallen since the weekend when back-to-back snowy blizzards turned Philadelphia into a glacier as well. A blizzard is by definition a bunch of snow, so saying snowy blizzards or blizzards of snowfall or blizzards of snow is just redundant. We just want our shorter, simpler answers here. So if you can spot that pattern, you'll see 3 longer answers, 1 shorter answer, no differences in grammar. You remember, go with the short answer. So even that one names rule and those 2 pattern spotting tricks can already start to improve your score 2, 3, even more points. Now, I'm going to give all my secrets away in this video, but if you want to learn everything I have to teach, you can sign up for my ultimate ACT course. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a free trial link below. I will teach you an entire chapter plus a bunch of the grammar rules that appear in the test. It's going to be an easy way to really start boosting your score. In the full course, it actually includes a download of my entire ACT English book that I've written. It has videos of me teaching you how to do every single type of grammar question, also how to use all those pattern spotting techniques to your advantage. Additionally, with the course, in my ultimate ACT course, it offers a 3-point score improvement guarantee. So again, there's a link below where you can learn more and sign up for a free trial, no credit card needed. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to check out my other videos to learn more about ACT English. There are more ones with grammar tips and rules. Be sure to check out the ones with math. You can learn a bunch of the math formulas, equations. You can also order a copy of my math book, which I with math. Other than that, be sure to like, subscribe. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. If you have any stuff you want to see in future videos, please let me know as well. Other than that, this is Matt of Prep signing off. I'll see you guys next time.
I don't know, I'm gonna get into
One of my favorite ways to cut down on study time is to use AI tools. This is where Grammarly can help. Just open up Grammarly and ask it to help you to brainstorm topics. Then tell Grammarly what your essay is about, and almost instantly it'll give you a handful of topic ideas. Once you have your topic, Grammarly can also help you draft a research plan and even give you an outline.
I be failing my classes. Cause school, I don't know. College seems like it'll be way more easier, cause it'll be every other day. Like you don't go to the same classes every day. This you gotta do it all the way. Listen to me. You gotta take this ACT test and learn nothing now. Yeah, at this point, I went to school and ain't learned nothing. All my years I've been in school. There was no reason for me to go to school because I don't learn nothing. I ain't learned nothing whatsoever.
Hey guys, welcome back to 5 Academy. It's Shahir. So today we're going through 12 super repetitive math problems. These problems aren't necessarily hard or easy, but they show up almost every test. Especially you'll notice this as you're practicing for the exam and taking tests over and over again. So if you can make sure you get these problems right every time, then it'll give your score a few points boost, almost guaranteed. So without further ado, let's get into it. The price of milk is $4 a gallon. The price decreases by 24%. So what's the new price? With these, all you do is you take your original value, multiply by 1 plus or minus the percent expressed as a decimal, which in this case is 0.24%. And if you do that, you end up getting 3.04 as your answer. Very straightforward. Rectangular prism is 21 feet tall and has a square base with a width of 8 feet. What is 1/4 of the volume? So with any rectangular prism or cube problem, remember this formula. Volume is equal to length times width times height. Just multiply them together. So our height we know is 21 feet because it's 21 feet tall. Width is going to be 8, and since this is a square base, the width and the length are going to be the same value. They're both going to be 8. So if you do 8 times 8 times 21, you end up getting 1344. You divide that by 4, and you end up getting your answer of 336. The greatest common factor of this, this, and this is what? With GCF problems, it's very straightforward. All you do is you take your numbers in the question and you divide them by each of the answer options. Whatever the greatest answer option is that gives you whole numbers for each of those division statements is going to be your answer. So you'll find that 18 divided by 3 works, 45 divided by 3 gives you a whole number as well, and 81 divided by 3 does as well. You do this for A, B, C, and you'll find that they all work, but D and E don't work. These will give you decimals. So C is your answer because it's the greatest factor. The circle below has a center point C. The length of AC is the radius. The area of the circle is this. So what is the circumference? Remember the two formulas. Area equals pi r squared, and circumference equals 2 pi r. If you know one, then you know the other. And in this case, we know the area, 30.25 pi equals pi r squared. Divide both sides by pi, take the square root, you get r equals 5.5. Plug that in here, you get circumference equals 11 pi. As long as you remember these two formulas, you will be good on any circumference or area problem. In the standard coordinate plane, a line segment has these endpoints. What are the coordinates of the midpoint? So with midpoint, all you do is you average your x values, so 2 and 6. What's the average? It's 4. It's the number right in between. And 4 and 0, what's the average of 4 and 0? What's the number right in between? It's 2. So 4, 2 is your answer. In what order should these be listed to be arranged in decreasing order? I recommend that you find the decimal equivalent of each of these just by plugging it into your calculator, and then order the decimal equivalents, and then convert them back to fractions, and you'll get your answer. I plugged all these into my calculator, and I got these decimals. I can clearly see this is the biggest, so this should be furthest to the left, and then after that is going to be 5/3. So that means that this has to be the answer. What is the value of log to base 2 of 16? You can plug this into your calculator as log of 16 over log of 2, because the formula for log is log by equals x, and that's also the same thing as log of y divided by log of b. You should remember this. An easy way to remember it is that the larger number goes in the numerator and the smaller number goes in the denominator. According to the measurements given in the figure below, which of the following expressions gives the distance in miles from the house to the car? So for this distance, relative to these values, and knowing that this is a right triangle, just remember SOHCAHTOA, and then relative to your angle, look at which sides you're looking for. You're looking for the opposite side, and you're looking for the adjacent side. These are the two known values. So opposite and adjacent. Clearly, we have to use a tan ratio, so cancel out these answer options, and then plug it in. So tan 41 is equal to opposite, which I'll just call O, and let's look 0. Call it x. X over 40. So you know that if you want to solve for x, you multiply both sides by 40, and you end up getting 40 tan 41. What is the product of the complex numbers here? Remember one very simple formula. I squared is equal to -1. So if I FOILed this out, and if I want to take the product, I can just multiply them as such. 6i plus 6. So 6i times -6i will give you -36i squared. -6i times 6, that's going to be -36i, and then positive 36i. And then finally, we do 6i, which is just 36. So these two numbers in the middle cancel out, right? And then this I squared is really just -1. So if I do -36 times -1, I end up getting positive 36. So my answer is going to be 36 plus 36, which is 72.
This ACT
what is the 245th digit after the decimal point, the repeating decimal? So what we notice is that this decimal is going to look like this, right? 1497, 1497, 1497. And we see that every fourth digit is going to be a 7. Right? The 4th, 8th, 12th, 16th digits are all going to be 7. So if this number is just divisible by 4, just like these here, that means that this should be a 7. But it's not divisible by 4, unfortunately. But if we find a number right next to it that's divisible by 4, that means that we can track what those numbers will be. So 244, if you plug it into your calculator, is divisible by 4. It gives you 61. That means that the 244th digit is going to be a 7. So the 245th digit would just be whatever shows up right after the 7 typically, and that's a 1. What is the difference between the median and the mean of this set of numbers? So for the mean, you just add the numbers up, you take the sum, and you divide by the number of numbers. Okay? For the median, you're going to have to list them all out. So it has to be in order. So it has to be -5, -3, 9, 14, 20, and you just take the number that's in the middle. So 9 is your median. Your sum divided by the number of numbers is going to be -8 added to 9 plus 14 plus 20 divided by 5. 7. Okay, so 7 versus 9, the difference is 2. In a ball pit, 75% of the balls are yellow. If you randomly pick a ball from the pit, what is the probability that the ball picked is not one of the yellow balls? Remember this formula. Probability of A is going to be 1 minus probability of B. This is when you have two possibilities. So in this case, probability of not yellow will just be 1 minus probability of yellow. And so you'll just get 1 minus 0.75, and that's going to be 0.25, which is A. You should also remember this formula right here that says that probability of any event or anything happening is the number of desired outcomes divided by the number of total outcomes. These two formulas together will cover you for just about any probability problem.
I'm about to fail this test, mother.
And who's saying that?
I ain't learned nothing. I ain't learned nothing in elementary school. I just guessed my whole way through elementary school. Just saying.
Let's quit saying it though. It's freaking negative. Freaking negative.
I mean,
it's not speak positive sometimes.
I was speaking positive. This time, I got to speak negative. It's the
you
truth.
You don't know what you might do on that test. You might know stuff on that test. Quit saying that.
I don't know nothing. We did some practice.
You might know.
Mama,